I want to show you some books today that will hopefully encourage your kids to want to write and read and publish for themselves. These are some of the favorites that we've had in our homeschool. Real quick, just in case we haven't met before, my name is Melissa. I used to be a middle and high school science and math teacher turned homeschool mom about 10 years ago. We have 3 kiddos, my husband and I, and the kids and I just love to read, write, author, and illustrate our own books. So we self-publish our own books, our own stories, and this channel just exists for you to be more encouraged to do the same, give it a try. It's really brought about a spark of creativity and just the love of reading and writing for our kids, and it's been a great thing to bond together and make some legacy projects together with, so hope you enjoy. Journals are very helpful. This one especially is great. It's for 5 to 9-year-olds. And it just takes the stress off of what do I have to write? You know, the kids are always thinking, well, what should I write? This is great. 3 things I like about myself are, 3 things I like about you are. So this journal I like because it's actually a parent and a child led together. The parent would write on this side and the child would write on this side. For example, when I grow up, my home will look like this, and they get to draw a picture. When you grow up, I hope you... It's just kind of a nice way to keep memories as well over the years. My favorite dessert is, my favorite animal, I like them because, and I like animals too, and my favorite animal is. So it's just nice that the parent gets to do this with them so they can see that this is important. My thoughts getting onto paper are important. This type of journal, about 8 to 12-year-old, I would say. This is great. It just has every day there is a topic at the top. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? And then you keep this for 3 years. So in 2025, what you just write 25 here, what did you write down? And then if you happen to open it again on April 2nd the next year, you would write it down on this one. And what's neat is you get to look back and see, well, what was I thinking that year? I think these are great. The only thing that holds me back with this is I feel like I have to do it every single day. And I think if you stress to your kids, you don't have to do it every single day. It doesn't ruin the journal just because you didn't fill every single blank out. I think then it could be a lot more beneficial. Here are some more examples of this one. And I will put links of all of these journals, all of the books that I recommend down below. I do earn a small commission with Amazon. I think I have to say that. Writing your name, which animal do you feel like today? So I think this journal might not be great for a teenager just because of some of the prompts, but it's great to get your kids started, and they don't have to write a lot. As you can see, there's just a few lines here. About me books or time capsule books, for example, this is great. So my suggestion would be you'd fill this out throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, you would put it actually in a time capsule. This is a time capsule that we have made before. We try to do one every year. We haven't done one every year, but maybe every other year. And then I date them about 10 years later to open. And you can stick whatever you want inside. So this book would be great because on the inside, here's a photograph of me, my full name. I sign my name like this. Some guidelines to go with. If someone finds this journal, they should email me, text me. It's kind of a fun thing. Here I am. Here's a picture of me. What do I look like? It's cute. These are some of my favorite books. Let's see if I can get myself off of here. And then you can draw the covers. I love that. Again, it's low stress. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to be perfect. It's really about getting your thoughts to paper. It's good to be bored sometimes because that's when I draw a picture, fill in the blank. Words that describe me, they could circle all of these different words that describe them. How fun would it be in 10 years from now to go through that and see what they chose about themselves back then? These are some more pages from the inside. This is me when I feel cranky. Draw a picture of yourself. That could be funny. Let's see. This is a creative journal for, I'd say, 6 to 16-year-olds, because there is a lot more writing involved, but you don't have to use every page, obviously. A lot more reading involved too. So a 6-year-old could do it if the parent was sitting with them and reading every prompt, I would say. Persuade someone that a product is worth buying. So they would have to go through the logic, desire, the fear, laughter, any of that. What is your product's name? Do you have a slogan? Different points of view. So using third person, first person, second person, and then writing a quick little story in each one of those. This is a little bit more guided, I'd say, into actual writing and grammar and writing process. Here's a critic review. So you have to find a book that you love or that you don't and write a review of that on this paper. Then there's another one, Usborne one, write your own storybook. This one is great. It gives you the story mountain in the beginning. This is what I always use for the kids when we want to write a story. You have a beginning, some sort of problem happens, some inciting incident. You're building up just that action, and then the problem is at the top. The character feels like they're going to give up. What do? And then there's a resolution, so you can come down the other side and then tie up all your loose ends and everything turns out well. Or not, however you want to do that. Different kinds of exciting writing examples. Let me show you an up close of this one. So this is a whodunit. So a billionaire has been found murdered in a mansion. The murder weapon is poison, but who is the culprit? A detective is called to the crime scene to investigate. Write a story describing how the mystery is solved. And when you start writing, you should know who did it, but don't give that away too soon. So you're trying to hide that information as you go on. And it gives you some questions down here to think about as you're writing that. This book is my favorite. It's very hard to find. If I do find it, I will put a link for you, but it's an older book by Lorraine Leedy. And let me show you the inside of that in a little clip here. You can just see how she really does guide you through different genres and different ideas, brainstorming, talking about settings and characters, researching, rough drafts, editing, and revising. This is a great book. You could actually use this book, I think, in your homeschool and make a whole writing curriculum out of it. Just taking it one step at a time. This Story Starters book is great as well. Let me just show you some inside pictures. Oh, did I? Okay. This is the table of contents, right? Oops, sorry, right here. There's lots of different stories that are just started, and they have beautiful language. Some of the stories are really old. Even the pictures inside are just lovely. They're that old, black and white. But at the top here, you'll see a B or you'll see an I. A B is for beginner. And so I always just started with all of those. We didn't even get into some of the more difficult ones because it was just fun reading these ones, and the kids didn't feel overwhelmed. And then you read that to them, and then at the end, so here's another great picture of a scene, you have to figure out what to do. Half an hour later, Mother came in with 4-year-old Violet and asked Emily to watch her while she and Aunt Ethel worked in the kitchen. Emily looked up from her book for just a moment to say, "Yes, ma'am." And then, based on the picture, you have to decide what's going to happen next. Let me go back before I do this one. Sorry. It also has, after each one, so this says, the picture shows an intense scene. Describe the commotion that arose and what took place afterward. Give your story a happy ending. And it gives you some writing help. What did the boys do to help? Make your astonished characters speak. Talk about vivid verbs. Don't just say, she was sad. Maybe talk about why she cried. Okay. This book is great if 4-year-olds and up. And I think it's great just because it's my daughter's. But no, also just because when kids get to see other books that other kids have written, it just encourages them that they can do this too. Obviously, it's not that difficult. It is achievable, and it's just a great motivator. She did all of the watercolors, and then we took pictures of our dog and inserted that using Photoshop into her watercolor pictures. In the back of the book, it's great because it shows you how we did that, how we took pictures of her in front of like a blue screen, and it's just great. This one is my youngest daughter. She did similar things. She did take pictures of our dog and dressed her up and everything, but with hers, as you can see, she used 3D graphics and just inserted the dog into different pictures that she created using these different clip arts and graphics on the page. And then in the back, we always put a little something about the author, because I think it's always fun to read about the author, especially if it's a kid reading about another kid that did this. This book is by our family. So we all took part in this, taking pictures of our dog when she had puppies, and she surprised us with puppies. As you can see through this book as well, the pictures actually don't look like an actual photo. So with this, we ran it through a free program called Photopea, and it turned them into like a watercoloring type cartoon of a picture. And then this book is our newest book. This one is actually one that my husband did. It's called Daddy Overdid It, and it's about an engineer who, every time we ask him for help, he goes above and beyond to the point where it's dreadful. We actually did hire an illustrator for this book. We normally don't do that. We do all the illustrations ourselves. But again, it kind of fits the book because my husband is an overachiever in everything, and he wanted it to be better than ours. I think that's why he did it. You can also use any kind of art or nature and then just start writing a story about that. And this book is another one we wrote which might help you to do that. Let me show you some of the pictures inside. Just gives you a little bit more inspiration as to what you can do. And in the back, it also shows you how you can make your own scenes using bits of nature, and you can write little stories about those scenes that you've made. This goes along with it. So this is a journal and an activity guide, and it will get the kids writing because they're outside, they're looking at nature. As you can see through some of the pictures here, that it gets them thinking about what they're looking at, and they have to write about what they're looking at. So they're observing, they're using their senses. And then in the back, it actually gives some different ideas of seasonal activities that you could have and that you could do, or you could write down your own things that you did during that season. This is one that I wrote when the kids were writing theirs. I wanted to make sure that they saw me doing the same thing so we could do it together as a family, and they saw the importance of it, and also just so I knew how to go about doing it. And as you can see through this one, this is about Henny, our chicken. I did the same thing Natalie did, where you take pictures of the animal and then insert them into various clip arts to create a scene. And in the back, you get to see pictures of our chickens. Maybe even during summertime, this could be something that you do on the side. It doesn't have to be during school hours, but the fact that they're actually taking what they're thinking about, trying to condense that and put that on paper, that's huge, just to get them to start writing. So I hope that helped, and let me know if you have any questions or if you had any suggestions of books. I would love to check them out. I'd also like to see if you've created any books in your homeschool. We haven't run across many people that have done that yet. We would love to see each other's books. So thanks so much.